Hello there, you're watching our television. This is State of Business. I'm Pamudha Katugampala. Let's have a look at the headlines. South Asia's growth will be positive. World Bank projects. Tea exports take a considerable hit. Welcome back, you're watching State of Business. And now news in detail. Now, the World Bank projects that South Asia's economic growth will be in average 5.6% in the current year. This information was revealed in the latest South Asia Focus Expanding Opportunities towards Inclusive Growth report, which was published recently. World Bank says that South Asia's growth prospects have weakened due to tightening financial conditions. It highlighted the need to roll back market distortions introduced during the pandemic and address debilitating socioeconomic divides that constrain South Asia's potential. South Asia's growth is expected to remain moderate at 5.9% in 2024, following an initial post-pandemic recovery of 8.2% in 2021. Report says lower commodity prices, a strong recovery in the services sector, and reduced disruptions in value chains are aiding South Asia's recovery, although rising interest rates and uncertainty in financial markets are putting downward pressure on the region's economies. All countries in the region except Bhutan have downgraded their forecasts. In Sri Lanka, GDP is expected to contract by 4.3% this year, reflecting the lasting impact of the debt crisis. Sri Lanka's economic growth remains heavily dependent on debt restructuring and structural reforms. Inflation in South Asia is set to fall to 8.9% this year and to below 7% in 2024. Elevated global and domestic food prices are contributing to greater food insecurity for South Asia's poor, who spend a larger share of income on food. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Agripreneurs Forum recently held the Agripreneurs Conference 2023 themed Empowering Agripreneurs for a World of Abundance at the Hector Kobakadu Agrarian Research and Training Institute in Colombo. This conference aimed to bring all stakeholders of agribusiness into one common platform to foster innovation and drive progressive change. It was held under the official endorsement of the Ministry of Agriculture. The conference saw under 150 key stakeholders in the agribusiness domain come together to address present-day challenges and seize new opportunities in the sector. SLAF Chairman Rizvi Zahid welcomed the participants and highlighted the timely need to conduct such a conference targeting agripreneurs to uplift their skill sets and provide them with insights that could spark progressive action. The keynote address for the event was delivered by Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaravira. Delivering the keynote address, he stressed the need to develop a comprehensive agri-policy that does not change with the minister. The conference was divided into 4 sessions: agri-financing, agri-marketing, agri-tech, and agri-policy facilitation, each featuring keynote speeches and panel discussions. Through the program, the participants gained a whole plethora of insights regarding the world of agribusiness, and the conference served as a platform to facilitate action. The participants got to engage in the exciting Q&A sessions and have the opportunity to network with stakeholders across various calibers attached to the agribusiness sector. It was also highlighted that all stakeholders of the sector should unite together under the umbrella of SLAF in order to catalyze this change, and he urged all agri-related stakeholders to join hands with SLAF to achieve this common objective. Now, the Power and Energy Ministry announces that the already increased fuel quota that was provided for the New Year season will be continued for the 3rd consecutive week. The minister took to Twitter to make the announcement yesterday. The minister, taking to Twitter, said the progress review meeting of Ceylon Petroleum Corporation was held yesterday, in which a number of matters were discussed, namely fuel cargo import plan, fuel distribution and national fuel pass QR system, and the newly imposed fuel quotas for the New Year season. Minister said on Twitter during the meeting it was decided to continue with increased weekly fuel quotas after analysing the fuel import, management, distribution and sales data. The fuel quota for passenger 3-wheelers special category was increased from 10 to 15 litres on the 8th of this month. 3-wheelers in general category was increased to 8 litres from 5 litres, and the motor bicycles from 5 litres to 7 litres. While the buses are provided 6 litres, cars and vans were also increased with 10 litres, making it 30 litres per week. Government introduced the quota system in August last year to limit the fuel consumption as it ran out of petrol and diesel due to foreign currency shortage, and this issue has since been gradually gradually easing, mainly with the receipt of the International Monetary Fund's Extended Funds Facility of $2.9 billion in March. Stay tuned for more stories after this short commercial break. Welcome back, you're watching State of Business. Now, official data showed that tea exports in the country fell 22.43% from a year ago to 17.98 million kilograms in March 2023. Now, critics point the finger at the then government and say that crops were hit by the chemical fertilizer and weedicide ban imposed in 2021. The total tea export earnings were up 49.84% in March 2023 to $110.1 million, up from $94.7 million a year earlier. It was mainly due to a collapse of the currency from 200 to 360 against the US dollar after 2 years of money printing to suppress rates. At the same time, the global rise in commodity prices due to loose US policy, rupee earnings rose 96% to 17.7 billion rupees. From January to March 2023 period, the total exports were 54.08 million kilos, down 9.62 from 63.70 million kilos in the same period in 2022, with a total earning of $313 million, down from $286 million. The industry data released by Ceylon Tea Brokers showed that Turkey had bought 6.8 million kilograms, becoming the top buyer of Ceylon tea in March 2023, displacing Iraq to second place with 5.8 million kilograms. Russia came third with 5.6 million kilos, and the UAE was kept in fourth with 4.4 million kilos, down from 6.1 million kilos last year. Sri Lanka produced around 251 million kilos of tea in 2022 due to the lagged effect of a fertilizer ban pushed for by the Government Medical Officers Association. In March 2023, the production fell 3.08% to 21.3 million kilograms in March 2023 from a year ago. Despite the drop, top officials in the industry said production is likely to pick up from around the second quarter of 2023 as trees respond to fertilizer applied after an agrochemical ban ended. Meanwhile, the government of Japan and the United Nations Development Programme yesterday launched a new initiative to strengthen socio-economic recovery via home-based agriculture and energy security measures. The $3.8 million initiative supports improvement of women's economic well-being for smallholder farmer families in Sri Lanka. The initiative aims to support vulnerable smallholder farming families in the dry zone districts, with a focus on women's economic empowerment and adoption of green agricultural technologies. The intervention aims to achieve its objective through two projects, the first focusing on diversifying livelihoods and introducing entrepreneurship programs targeting women-led MSMEs. The second aims to strengthen energy and food security through the revival of the rural agricultural economy by providing access to innovative markets, value and supply chain improvements. A total of 58,000 women and youth are to directly benefit from these projects, while indirectly impacting over 132,000 vulnerable community members from the North Central, Northwestern and Eastern provinces of Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Gunawardena said the government appreciates the continuous support extended by the Government of Japan and the United Nations Development Programme. He said support is vital for the country's efforts to recover from the socio-economic crisis. Now, the government has paid the attention on setting up of some Italian language department in Sri Lankan universities, and the Italian embassy in Sri Lanka has already commenced discussions with the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena held a discussion with Italian Ambassador Rita Manella about the expansion of trade and investment relations between the two countries. Prime Minister had a discussion which took place on this Monday with the Italian embassy officials, and the European Union Ambassador Denis Shaibi urged to explore possibility of investments in new areas. The Prime Minister requested Italy to assist to set up Italian language departments in Sri Lankan universities, and Ambassador Manella said the embassy is already in contact with Sri Jayawardhanapura University regarding setting up an Italian language centre. Furthermore, Italy is also interested in setting up a skills development centre to train youths for employment in the hospitality industry. Embassy officials further said that there is a demand for trained staff in hotels in Italy, and trained Sri Lankans could gain employment. She pointed out such training would also help the tourism industry in Sri Lanka. Ambassador Manella expressed satisfaction over the contribution made by expatriate Sri Lankans to the economies of Italy and Sri Lanka. Stay tuned for the stock update. Welcome back, you're watching State of Business, and now the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today.
Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The all-share price index dropped 33.60 points to close at 9,091.72, and the S&P SL20 dropped 10.39 points to close at 2,646.48. The turnover was 7 billion rupees and over 34 million shares were traded.
Coming up next are Forex rates. Well, that's a wrap from today's edition of State of Business. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.